Shalom, friends, and welcome to this week's installation of a Bisseleh Torah. Hayay is the name of the parsha for this week. And we open up with the words, V'yu Hayay Sarah, normally translated as this is the lifetime of Sarah. But the Midrash is more literal about translating it when it says, these are the lives of Sarah. For you is plural, and these. And Hayay can also be plural. How can a person live more than a single life? Well, let's look at Sarah under a microscope for a moment. Something that you all know is that Sarai was her initial name. And after she'd left her home, just like her husband Abraham took on a new name, so did she. She left her home, the things that were familiar to her. She went on a great journey, a trek, and learning from the pitfalls of life, from the pains of life. She became transformed and, in a sense, in a new incarnation of a psychic self. She became known as Sarah, renamed by God himself. What do we learn from this? We learn that as change is possible. We can hope for change, we can believe in change, but change will always come with a price tag. And the price tag of change is work, effort. To make change really possible takes real effort on our part. Hippocrates, the father of modern medicine, once said, and is widely quoted as having said, first do no harm. Change has to be positive. Change has to be something that's going to improve our character, improve the life that we live. And when people witness this change in us, they will know us by a different name. No longer Tommy, we'll have a different name. Tadrus or Tom. No longer just Jack or Jackie, now be Yankel. We'll have a new name, a new character, because people, when they see the change in us, will want to define us in a different way and will take on a different relationship with us. Do you feel that you've been disrespected by people? Maybe it's time that we do a U-turn in our life, change the direction that we've been going in, and face a new way with new hope, new eyes, and a new scope of the landscape that lies before us. There's a wonderful story told about the great and famed rabbi, the Hasidic master Rabbi Levi Yitzhak of Berdichev. He, on one Erev Yom Kippur, began to search under the benches of a synagogue, and he said, I'm looking for a drunk Jew. And he looked under the benches, and people began to shake their heads and wonder, what's wrong with our rabbi? But he continued to look under each bench. I'm looking for a drunk Jew. I'm looking for a drunk Jew. And people began to think, what has he got Yom Kippur confused with Pesach? And finally, when he'd exhausted his search and found nobody lying under any of the benches, he turned his face upward to God and said to God, look down upon us. You told us before Yom Kippur that we're supposed to have a great meal, a Sudam Second. And in this great meal, we're to eat and drink like it's the last meal of our life. And in a sense, that's exactly what it's supposed to be. The last meal that we partake before we become a new incarnation of ourselves. Then Rabbi Yitzhak looked up to God and said, how proud you must be of your people. They had the opportunity to get drunk, to eat too much, to overeat, to overdrink, and not one Jew can be found like this before the holiest of days. There's always hope of change, of possibility. Not only as Rabbi Levi Yitzhak of Berdichev indicated that hope is possible, change is possible before the holiest day of the year, that we don't have to eat too much or drink too much, and that we have become a new incarnation of self. But every day can be this. Every day can witness the rebirth of ourself in a new layer that the world has never seen before. Shabbat Shalom.